want a safe environment to work in. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want any lost time injuries. When somebody gets hurt and somebody else has to do his job and it takes you away from your job, and it just keeps going further and further.
You know, you're talking the cranes, front-end loaders. Stuying is just the pure size of it. When we have an accident, it's usually pretty nasty. So any time that we can cut back on that, that's what we're concerned with.
For in our business, the size of the equipment, you don't get a second chance typically. It's so large that you're crushed, and that's the end of it.
Well, there's a lot of things that could happen. I mean, you know, somebody could put something in our river, in our water system. We could have a hazardous spill. I mean, other than just the normal things like blizzards and floods and things like that, there's a lot of things that can happen. We have water main breaks. We have, you know, we do a lot of trenching. We do things like that. You know, we have to make sure it's in a safe environment.
Our guys go down into some deep holes, some deep lift stations, and that's a pretty dangerous kind of job, and we had to make sure that we were provided and used all the proper safety equipment, the safety tripods, the harness, fall protection, things of that nature.
Our safety glass policy, before we had eye injuries all the time. Wearing the glasses really dramatically cut it down, dramatically. And like I said, if people have a complaint about something not being safe, it's attended to. You know, there's no longer complain about it than let it pass over. It's bring the complaint up. Let's see what we can do as a committee, as our fellow co-workers, you know, and get this thing straightened out.
How bad was our safety program? Well, it was bad. I mean, it was. We were to the point of paying about $140,000 a year or every 6 months in workers' comp premiums, and our safety, lost time safety accidents was just going off the books. We were to the point we just didn't know what to do. We were in bad shape.
Brainstorming and how to come up with ideas to solve some of the problems we have around here. And it's surprising how many ideas people will come up with, and the ideas are coming from where they need to come from the employees, not management telling employees how to solve it, but them telling us how to solve it, and more or less working together. And that's the truth about how it works around here. It's a two-way street.
Now with our managers meeting on a monthly basis with their counterparts as the union stewards, the master mechanics, the business agents from all the union locals. I think you're putting faces with names, and you're developing relationships, which is the first step in communication.
We have actually 4 different job sites here in Northeast Ohio that are spread over 2 counties, and we basically have set up a mechanism where we have a site committee at each one of these separate sites that deals primarily with the safety issues at that specific site. The overall group, our steering committee, is basically our controlling hub, where we look at the overall issues for the company as well as specific safety issues that a job site may not, as an individual site, be able to handle. They'll forward that on to our steering committee, and we'll address it more from the overall company standpoint. And it's a process that keeps the
any problem or an issue that you would like to address, then you can take your own initiative to go out, and if it requires like a work order, that's something that we would turn into maintenance, saying that if here wasn't working properly, could you come and check it out? That is an example of what we could do to correct any problems.
It was a real needed program. It was a program that the city, we kind of reacted to things. It was something we really needed to do. I mean, not that anything specifically happened in the city of Vermilion, an accident, but when you read the paper, you hear about it on the news, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, something like that could happen here. We really need to address safety. It's an important issue.
We're creating a safer environment for us to work in. We all have families that we have to take care of, and we know we can come here, do our job safely, and know at the end of the day, when it's time to go home, we'll be home with our family.
The number of issues that you first initially will encounter, I feel, are very large in terms of, well, let's take care of this problem. let's take care of this problem first, etc. But once you get yourself settled in and you start to, bit by bit, piece by piece, take the issues and work yourself through them, then you find yourself that you can get yourself into some good processes and some good steps that the whole system needs to work well for you.
It takes top level to become active in it, and it's active from our top level down to the bottom person, and everybody takes a part in it, and that's the only way it's going to work, is you've got to get the employees involved. If it's a program that is dictated by myself or some other management person, then it's their program. But when you get everybody involved, it becomes everybody's program, and it becomes a program that will work. Otherwise, it won't work. When you have people, there's no accidents, and people showing up for work every day, production costs production going up, costs going down, it's kind of easy to get a dollar on that.
Well, I've seen that the lost time, the attendance has been increased. The money that's available to us now that probably was not as plentiful years ago to increase our protection equipment, training, and seminars that are needed. This is a very hard, dirty, nasty job, and we have to have protection, and the only way we can do that is by working together.
Our results from a safety standpoint, purely by numbers, they've dropped dramatically, and it's been consistent over each year that we've had the process in place. And even without, if you just don't count the pure numbers of incidents, our severity has dropped as well. So all that drives to the bottom line in terms of savings from workers' comp, medical, etc. So it's worked out to be a true money saver for us as well.
We've reduced the number of injuries. We've reduced their significance, and at the same time, that has caused an overall reduction in the cost to us from a safety standpoint, in that our workers' compensation is from about $125,000 a year down to, I think, the last number that I heard was about $15,000 a year. So it's fairly significant.
A neutral third party is significant. Again, you have to have a confidence in the group, and you have to have an objective individual or entity that can provide some objectivity and some credibility. The other part of it is we had not necessarily other agendas, but other things on our plate. And that third party whose focus was and was being paid through grants and through direct ways to make sure that those meetings happened and that the happened and facilitated the training, and that's what made it work. And again,
it seems like safety always gets in the way of operations. You have tonnages to put out, and you have profits to make. But through the whole thing, it's actually been very successful in increasing our productivity. The employees give better input. They bring more concerns to you. If you solve those concerns jointly, it actually helps productivity.
This is what injuries are costing us. This is the number of dollars that we have to generate in sales to be able to offset those costs. And when you're talking millions of dollars in additional sales to offset injuries, it gets senior management's attention very quickly. And when they could see that they would be able to save a lot of money by reducing the number of injuries, those sales that they needed to generate were actually going to be able to generate profits that go to the bottom line. They were very supportive of that effort. Was it worth it? It was extremely worth it. We have reduced our lost time accidents from about 7, 8 a year down to several years was 0. It's fluctuated a little bit, but we still got things under control. We've been able to join a group to get group rating with our BWC rates. I'm going to say they're probably down under a third of what we were paying, so we're very happy with the program.
Injuries have been cut back to almost none for the past 4 years, and it's keeping everybody working. We haven't had any lost time incidents, and I think it's a great committee. It's just awesome.
Everything that we've done has been a positive note. The management's real good with it. Our fellow employees, they're real good with it. And it works. It really does work.